Hello, I've returned with another ADH Wealth solution. Today, we will begin to discuss fulfilling all of your financial needs. As always, this is a basic description. For an evaluation of your own, please schedule an appointment. My information is in the description. Lastly, make sure you hit the like, drop a comment, and if you're new, subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. Yo, it's your boy, the insurance junkie, your fiduciary fella, the all-star advisor, Alonzo Hall, coming back to whap and tap on your head with some more poignant information. Before we get started, ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share. To contribute to channel growth, my information is in the description. To apply directly for life insurance, up to $1 million, with no medical exam and an instant decision, the link is in the description. To schedule a financial consult, my link is in the description. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're looking here at Dion Roabouin, CFA, Certified Financial Analyst, and TV host. He's usually on CNN and MSNBC Money, often. Also, he happens to be my cousin, because, you know, folks who are black like us, we tend to pride excellence into the family. So, as you'll see here, my cousin Dion I've done a decent bit of work this summer for various outlets. He used to do Thomson Reuters, Yahoo Finance, Bloomberg, Axios, and Vox. And I figured it would be a good idea to have it all in one place. So please excuse all the posts today. This is from September for Time magazine. The U.S. is losing the global race to decide the future of money. So let's take a look at this article. And it says here, the U.S. is losing the global race to decide the future of money, and it could doom the almighty dollar. Illustration by Pete Reynolds for Time magazine, written by Dion Roabouin. September 21st, 2021. In cities across China, the country's central bank has begun rolling out the e-renminbi, an all-digital version of its paper currency that can be accessed and accepted by merchants and consumers without an internet connection, credit, or even a bank account. Already having conducted more than $5 billion in renminbi transactions, China has opened its digital currency up to foreigners. Next year, when Beijing hosts the Winter Olympic Games, authorities are expected to let the world test drive its technological achievements. The United States, by contrast, is having trouble even concluding its multi-year exploration into the possibility of an e-dollar. In fact, an upcoming Federal Reserve paper on a potential U.S. digital currency won't take a position on whether the Central Bank of the United States will or even should create one. Instead, Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell said in recent testimony to Congress, this paper will begin a major public consultation on central bank digital currencies. Once planned for July, the paper's release has since been moved to September. Once the world leader in digital payments and technological innovation, the U.S. is being outpaced by its top global adversary, as well as much of the industrialized and the developing world. The Bahamas recently announced the integration of its digital sand dollar into a stock exchange, while Australia, Malaysia, Singapore, and South Africa are moving forward with the world's first cross-border central bank digital currency exchange program, led by the BIS, Bank for International Settlements, which is also known as the Central Bank of Central Banks. Such developments have been somewhat outshined by El Salvador's recent decision to make Bitcoin a legally accepted currency, which few expect to make a significant impact in the payment space. But outside of the cryptocurrency space, nations around the globe are making significant strides in the development of the digital future of money, supported by governments and backed by powerful central banks. Leadership in this space will have implications for more than just payments. Geopolitical ambitions, economic growth, financial inclusion, and the very nature of money could all be dictated by who leads the charge and how. Digital currencies are the next wave in the evolution of the nature of money in the digital economy. Hyun Song Shin, economic advisor and co-leader of the Monetary and Economic Department at the Bank for International Settlements, tells Time magazine. As more of our world migrates from physical brick and mortar to wireless and cloud-based, the way we pay for things is changing as well. A central bank digital currency would operate just like cash, but instead of having to carry it in a physical wallet or put it into a bank account, it could be stored and accessed digitally. Not only could US-backed digital currency facilitate easier modern banking, it could prove vital in protecting American international influence. Late to the party, the US is stepping up its research and public engagement on digital currencies, the Federal Reserve says, including forming working groups on cryptocurrency and other kinds of digital money, and experimenting with technology that would be central to producing a digital dollar. The Fed's regional Boston branch is overseeing these efforts with the Massachusetts Institute of Technology on what's known as Project Hamilton. But the path toward a digital US dollar has met many challenges, skeptics, and outright opponents, all while China and other countries push forward, lagging behind the world. Just how far behind is the US in the development of a central bank-issued digital currency, CBDC? According to global accounting firm PwC's inaugural CBDC Global Index, which tracks various CBDC's project status from research to development and production, the US ranks 18th in the world. America's potential efforts trail countries like Sweden, South Korea, and China, but also countries like the Bahamas, Ecuador, Eastern Caribbean, and Turkey. China, with its government's hyper-focus on maintaining control and overseeing data, has been working to develop a CBDC for almost a decade. And the US is probably not close to catching up. Analysts like Harvard economics professor Kenneth Rogoff, who study monetary policy and digital currencies, estimate that the US could be at least a decade away from issuing a digital dollar backed by the Fed. In that time, Rogoff argued in an op-ed earlier this year, the modernization of China's financial markets and reduction or removal of its currency controls could deal the dollar's status a painful blow. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure you hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. As always, share, share, share. To schedule a consult, my information is in the description. To contribute to channel growth, my information is in the description. To buy life insurance directly with no health questions and an instant decision, the information is in the description. So it says China has already largely moved away from coin and paper currency. Chinese consumers have racked up more than 41 trillion in mobile transactions, according to a recent research paper from the Brookings Institution, with the lion's share, 92%, going through digital payment processors WeChat Pay and Ally Pay. The reason you could say the US is behind in the digital currency race is I don't think the US is aware there is even a race. Yahya Fanusi, an adjunct senior fellow at the Center for a New American Security and former CIA analyst, tells Time in an interview. A lot of policymakers are looking at it and concerned. But even with that, I just don't think that there is a sense of urgency because the risk from China is not an immediate threat. Not only is the US running significantly behind in the development of a CBDC, we are trailing the rest of the world in digital payments broadly. Kenya, for example, has almost fully digitized its economy through its digital currency and payment system, M-PESA, making transactions free and almost instantaneous. India's unified payments interface allows users to transfer money instantly between bank accounts with no cost. Brazil's PIX facilitates the transfer of money between people and companies in up to 10 seconds. All of these programs work through and are overseen by the country's central banks rather than commercial banks or other private companies. So what's holding the US back? Critics argue CBDCs are simply a solution in search of a problem and potentially harmful. Many see support from the banking sector as vital to the success of a digital US dollar. However, commercial banks in the US have taken a largely adversarial stance. The proposed benefit of CBDCs to international competitiveness and financial inclusion are theoretical, difficult to measure, and may be elusive, the American Bankers Association said in a statement at a recent congressional hearing on digital currencies. While the negative consequences for monetary policy, financial stability, financial intermediation, the payment systems, and the customers and communities that the banks serve could be severe. The Bank Policy Institute, which lobbies on behalf of the country's largest banks, went so far as to argue that neither the Fed nor the U.S. Treasury even has the constitutional authority to issue a digital currency. Commercial banks dominate the U.S. financial system to such a degree that unraveling them would be ostensibly impossible, experts say. They also would be a powerful adversary. Former Goldman Sachs managing director Nomi Prinz notes, banks have clearly seen the writing on the wall. Banks are centralized middlemen with respect to financial transactions. Prinz, author of Collusion, How Central Bankers Rig the World, tells Time. The more popular cryptocurrency or digital currency becomes, the fewer profits the banking system can reap from traditional services and verification methods that allow them to hold, take, or use their customers' money, and the more financial power they stand to lose as a result. Even disruptive financial technologies like PayPal, Venmo, and Zelle work through the banking system rather than around it, thanks in large part to the bank's power. Central bankers also generally have concluded that commercial banks are a necessary piece of a potential CBDC ecosystem, thanks to their pre-existing regulatory guardrails and ability to move money. Top policymakers at the Fed, including influential Vice Chair for Supervision Randall Quarles, have joined the banking industry in arguing that a digital dollar could pose significant and concrete risks, and that the potential benefits are unclear. Fed Governor Christopher Waller said in August he was skeptical that a Federal Reserve CBDC would solve any major problem confronting the U.S. payment system. In a recent speech, he titled CBDC a solution in search of a problem. Further, there's no central U.S. authority with direct oversight or responsibility for any of this. In addition to the Fed, the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, the Securities and Exchange Commission, the Federal Trade Commission, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, Office of Thrift Supervision, Financial Stability Oversight Council, Federal Financial Institution Examinations Council, and the Office of Financial Research would all have some stake in the development of a digital currency backed by the central bank, to say nothing of the state and regional authorities. The U.S. has an active congressional debate, which is beneficial and very important. Federal Reserve Governor Lael Brainerd tells Time in an interview, but the U.S. also has a diffusion of regulatory responsibility with no single payments regulator at the federal level, which is not as helpful. That diffusion of responsibility is part of what creates the lags that our system is working through. None of this exists in China, where the Chinese Communist Party oversees the central banks, commercial banks, and their regulators, and is unconcerned with privacy. Ladies and gentlemen, hit that like, drop a comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you're made aware every time I release new content. And as always, share, share, share. And remember, wipe ass, work in progress every day and see success. Wipe ass, work in progress every day and see success. Wipe ass, work in progress every day and see success. And remember, when people challenge you, they don't challenge you to challenge you, but they challenge you to challenge you. Accept the challenge. Salute. Interested in having an evaluation? Find my contact info in the description and schedule a consult to explore your options. Have a financial question but don't know who to ask? Email me at a.hall@cgwealth.financial and your question may be answered in my next video. Security products are subject to investment risks, including possible loss of principal. Before investing, carefully consider the investment objectives, risks, limitations, charges, and expenses of the product and any underlying investment options. This information can be found in the product and investment option prospectuses. Copies are available from your registered representative.